The words you speak to yourself are shaping your life in ways you may not even realize. Most people live their entire existence allowing negative self-talk to run on repeat in their minds, convincing them that they're not enough, not capable, or not worthy of more. But what if, for just 3 days, you changed that inner conversation? What if, instead of tearing yourself down, you built yourself up with every thought? Imagine the transformation you would feel, not in years, not in months, but in a matter of days. The power of self-talk is one of the most underestimated forces in our lives. Every single day, from the moment we open our eyes to the moment we close them at night, we are in constant dialogue with ourselves. This inner conversation, often unnoticed, becomes the foundation upon which our identity is built and our future is shaped. The truth is simple yet profound. The way you talk to yourself determines the way you live your life. Most people underestimate how powerful words are, especially the ones they speak silently in their minds. Words are not just sounds, they are vibrations that carry meaning, emotion, and energy. When you repeatedly tell yourself that you are not enough, not smart enough, or not capable of achieving something, your subconscious mind accepts those words as truth. Over time, this narrative becomes a part of your identity. You begin to live out the very limitations you've spoken into existence. On the other hand, when you feed yourself words of power, hope, and belief, you plant seeds of greatness in your mind that eventually grow into confidence, resilience, and success. Think about it. If someone else talked to you the way you often talk to yourself, would you tolerate it? Many of us allow a harsh, critical voice inside our heads to dictate our worth, while we would never let another person speak to us in such a demeaning way. This is the trap of negative self-talk. It convinces you that the voice tearing you down is truth, when in reality, it is simply a habit of thought that you've allowed to repeat. The good news is that habits can be changed, and language can be rewritten. Self-talk is not just about boosting your mood for the moment. It is about programming your subconscious mind. Your subconscious does not know the difference between what is real and what is imagined. It only knows what you consistently tell it. If you say, "I am strong, I am capable, I am worthy," every single day, your subconscious accepts this as reality and begins to influence your actions, emotions, and decisions accordingly. You'll find yourself taking bolder steps, pushing past fear, and pursuing opportunities that align with this new belief. Consider successful athletes, leaders, and visionaries. Many of them practice positive self-talk deliberately. Before a big game, an athlete tells themselves they are prepared, focused, and unbeatable. Before a speech, a leader reminds themselves that they are confident, clear, and inspiring. They do not leave their mindset to chance. They intentionally use words to shape their state of being. If this practice works for the most successful individuals, why wouldn't it work for you? Your self-talk is the blueprint of your future. If you constantly tell yourself that life is unfair, that you'll never succeed, or that happiness is out of reach, you are constructing a future that reflects those beliefs. But if you consistently remind yourself that challenges are opportunities, that you are capable of growth, and that abundance is available to you, you are building a future rooted in possibility. Your words become your reality. This is why, for just 3 days, changing your inner dialogue can create a noticeable shift in your life. It is not about faking positivity or ignoring real struggles. It is about choosing to direct your thoughts in a way that empowers rather than destroys you. By consciously speaking to yourself with love, encouragement, and belief, you rewire your brain, reshape your identity, and set a new course for your future. The power of self-talk is real, and it is available to you every moment of every day. The question is, will you use it to tear yourself down, or will you use it to build yourself into the person you were always meant to be? The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. From the moment you wake up, your mind is open and impressionable. In those first few minutes, your thoughts are planting seeds that will influence your mood, decisions, and actions throughout the day. This is why morning affirmations are so powerful. They serve as the foundation upon which your confidence is built. By deliberately choosing empowering words at the start of the day, you create a mindset that carries you through challenges, opportunities, and interactions with strength and clarity. Many people begin their mornings by checking their phones, scrolling through news or social media, or immediately thinking about problems and responsibilities. This creates stress and negativity before the day even starts. Imagine instead waking up and feeding your mind with affirmations that remind you of your worth, your strength, and your potential. Rather than beginning in reaction to the world, you begin in alignment with your true self. That one shift can completely transform your day. Morning affirmations are not just empty words, they are intentional declarations that reprogram your subconscious mind. When you look in the mirror and say, I am confident, I am worthy, I am capable of handling anything that comes my way, you're training your brain to believe it. Over time, these beliefs become your natural state. Confidence doesn't magically appear. It is cultivated through repetition, through the steady planting of positive thoughts until they become part of your identity. Think of affirmations as mental armor. Just as a soldier wouldn't step onto the battlefield without protection, you shouldn't step into your day without equipping yourself mentally. The world will always present challenges, unexpected setbacks, negative people, moments of doubt. But if you've already built your foundation in the morning with affirmations, you'll face those challenges with resilience. Instead of crumbling under pressure, you'll remind yourself of the truth you declared at sunrise, that you are strong enough to handle it. For affirmations to work effectively, they must be consistent, personal, and spoken with intention. It's not enough to mumble words half-heartedly while rushing out the door. You must slow down, breathe deeply, look yourself in the eyes if possible, and speak as though you are commanding your future. Affirmations such as, today I choose to focus on what I can control, or I radiate confidence and attract positive opportunities, create clarity and set a clear direction for your energy. Another key is to phrase affirmations in the present tense. Saying, I will be confident, pushes your belief into the future where it always stays out of reach. Saying, I am confident, anchors it in the present, signaling to your subconscious that this is your reality now. Even if you don't fully believe it in the moment, repetition allows your mind to accept it as truth over time. Morning affirmations also help break the cycle of negative self-talk. If you normally wake up thinking, I'm so tired, I can't handle today, I'm not ready for this, then your day unfolds in alignment with those thoughts. But when you replace those words with affirmations like, I am energized, I am ready, and I am grateful for this new day, you begin to embody those feelings. It may feel awkward at first, but soon it becomes natural, and the results in your confidence and energy are undeniable. The beauty of morning affirmations that they don't require hours of practice. Just a few minutes of intentional, positive self-talk in the morning can shift your entire day. Over 3 days, you will notice yourself standing taller, speaking with more assurance, and approaching challenges with calm determination. Over weeks and months, you'll see how this simple practice rewires your confidence and becomes the foundation of your success. Confidence is not given, it is built, and morning affirmations are the bricks. By choosing to speak power over your life before the world has a chance to speak doubt, you take control of your mindset, your emotions, and ultimately your destiny. No matter how positively you start your morning, life has a way of testing you throughout the day. Unexpected problems arise, people frustrate you, and doubts creep into your mind. It's during these moments that the real power of self-talk is revealed. The key is not to expect a life free of negativity, but to train yourself to replace those negative thoughts with empowering ones. This is where transformation truly begins, because every thought you choose to dwell on either weakens you or strengthens you. Negativity often shows up quietly. It could be the voice that whispers, you're not good enough, when you make a mistake. It could be the frustration you feel when someone criticizes you, leading you to think, maybe they're right, maybe I'll never succeed. These thoughts may feel small in the moment, but they build patterns that shape your self-image. Left unchallenged, they begin to control your actions, your confidence, and even your future. That's why it's essential to catch negativity the moment it enters and replace it immediately with an empowering thought. For example, imagine you're at work and you make an error in a project. Your first instinct might be to say to yourself, I always mess up, I'm not cut out for this. If you allow that thought to continue, it lowers your energy, kills your motivation, and reinforces a belief of incompetence. But if you replace it with, I made a mistake, but I'm learning and getting better every day, the outcome changes completely. Instead of discouragement, you feel empowered to improve and move forward. Same situation, different internal dialogue, different result. This practice requires awareness. You must become conscious of your thoughts as they arise. At first, this might feel difficult because negativity often runs on autopilot. But with practice, you will notice when your inner critic starts speaking, and you'll have the power to interrupt it. The interruption itself is powerful. It breaks the cycle of destructive self-talk. Then, by replacing the thought with something empowering, you redirect your mind toward growth and strength. Empowering thoughts are not about pretending everything is perfect. They are about choosing perspectives that serve you rather than harm you. If you're overwhelmed, instead of saying, "I can't handle this," you can say, "This is a challenge, but I'm capable of finding solutions." If you feel nervous about an opportunity, instead of saying, "I'll probably fail," you can say, "I am prepared, and this is my chance to grow." These shifts might seem small, but they completely change the way you feel and act in those moments. Another way to strengthen this practice is to prepare a list of empowering thoughts or affirmations that you can use whenever negativity strikes. Think of it as your mental toolkit. When stress, fear, or self-doubt arises, you have already made replacements to counter them. Over time, these empowering statements become your automatic response, replacing the old negative programming. Science supports this idea as well. Studies on neuroplasticity show that the brain rewires itself based on repeated thought patterns. The more often you replace negativity with empowerment, the more your brain strengthens those positive neural pathways. Eventually, positivity becomes your default mode, not something you have to force. This practice of replacing negativity is not about ignoring problems, it's about facing them with a stronger mindset. Life will always bring difficulties, but your inner dialogue determines whether those difficulties defeat you or refine you. By consciously replacing destructive thoughts with empowering ones, you build resilience, confidence, and the ability to keep moving forward no matter what comes your way. Throughout the day, negativity will always try to creep back in. But remember, you are not powerless. You are the gatekeeper of your mind. With practice, you can transform every negative voice into one of strength, courage, and hope. And when you do this consistently, you'll notice that your energy, actions, and results begin to align with the powerful words you choose. Replacing negativity with empowering thoughts is not just a daily habit, it's a life-changing discipline. It allows you to take back control of your mind and build a future that reflects your strength instead of your fears. How you end your day is just as important as how you begin it. Most people go to bed carrying the weight of their worries, regrets, and unfinished tasks. They replay mistakes in their minds, criticize themselves for what they didn't do, and allow stress to linger in their hearts. This habit drains energy, robs peace, and sets a negative tone for the next morning. But when you choose to end your day with gratitude and self-encouragement, you create a sense of closure, peace, and renewal. This nightly practice becomes a foundation for growth, confidence, and emotional well-being. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces you can cultivate before sleep. It shifts your focus away from what went wrong and places it on what went right. No matter how challenging your day may have been, there is always something to be grateful for. The roof over your head, the food you ate, the people who support you, or even the strength you showed in surviving the day. When you deliberately acknowledge these blessings, your mind enters a state of peace. Instead of dwelling on lack, you rest in abundance. Gratitude is like a gentle reset button that allows you to release negativity and fall asleep with a calm heart. Self-encouragement is the second vital piece of ending your day strong. Too often, we beat ourselves up for not doing enough, not being enough, or not achieving enough. But the truth is, you are always making progress, even if it's small. Every step you take, every lesson you learn, every challenge you endure is building you into someone stronger. Before bed, remind yourself of that. Tell yourself, "I did my best today. I am proud of myself for moving forward. Tomorrow I will grow even more." These words are not just comforting, they're empowering. They plant seeds of resilience that will bloom when challenges come. This practice also helps break the cycle of perfectionism. Many people go to bed feeling like failures because they didn't check every box on their to-do list. But life isn't about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up and doing what you can with the time and energy you have. By ending the day with self-encouragement, you acknowledge your effort instead of obsessing over shortcomings. You tell yourself, "I am enough, even in my imperfections." That message allows you to rest deeply and wake up refreshed, ready to try again. Gratitude and encouragement also work hand in hand to reprogram your subconscious mind. The thoughts you dwell on before sleep sink deeply into your subconscious and shape your beliefs. If you end your day with complaints, regrets, and harsh self-talk, you reinforce negativity overnight. But if you end your day with thankfulness and uplifting words, you program your mind with positivity while you sleep. Imagine your subconscious as fertile soil. Whatever you plant before bed will grow while you rest. By planting gratitude and encouragement, you ensure that your dreams, emotions, and waking energy are aligned with strength and peace. A simple nightly ritual can make this habit powerful. Before closing your eyes, take a few minutes to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for that day. Then, speak words of encouragement to yourself, out loud if possible. Something as simple as, "I'm proud of myself for what I accomplished today. I'm growing stronger every day. Tomorrow will be even better." This practice only takes a few minutes, but its impact compounds over time. Ending your day with gratitude and self-encouragement is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to close the day with peace instead of stress, with strength instead of weakness. It's about giving yourself permission to rest, recharge, and believe in your own progress. When you make this a daily habit, you'll notice changes quickly. Your sleep becomes deeper. Your mind feels lighter. Your mornings start brighter because you ended the previous day on a strong note. Over time, this simple practice builds resilience, confidence, and an unshakable sense of self-worth. So tonight, instead of lying in bed replaying regrets or worrying about tomorrow, choose gratitude, choose encouragement. Speak to yourself like someone you love. Remind yourself that you're growing, you're learning, and you're becoming the best version of yourself. That's the power of ending each day with gratitude and self-encouragement. It transforms not just your nights, but your life. When people hear about changing their self-talk, many dismiss it as too simple to make a difference. They think transformation requires years of effort, complex strategies, or external breakthroughs. But the truth is, profound change often begins with small, intentional steps. That's the beauty of the 3-day challenge. Committing to just 3 days of positive self-talk can spark a shift powerful enough to influence your long-term future. In those 3 days, you're not just speaking new words, you're laying the foundation for a new identity. Why 3 days? Because 3 days is long enough to notice change, but short enough to feel achievable. When people are told to transform their thinking for life, it feels overwhelming, almost impossible. But when you break it down into a small, time-bound challenge, the task feels doable. For 3 days, anyone can commit to replacing negativity with empowering words, speaking affirmations, and encouraging themselves morning and night. This short time frame removes excuses and makes the practice accessible to anyone. The power of this challenge lies in consistency. For 3 days, you are interrupting old patterns and deliberately creating new ones. Normally, your brain runs on autopilot, recycling the same doubts, fears, and criticisms you've repeated for years. But when you disrupt that cycle with intentional positive self-talk, you shock your mind into a new rhythm. By day 2, you begin to notice a difference. Your energy feels lighter. You catch yourself stopping negative thoughts faster. You feel more in control of your emotions. By day 3, the shift is undeniable. You see how your words influence not just your feelings, but your actions and outcomes. The real gift of the 3-day challenge is not just in those 72 hours, it's in the proof it gives you. It shows you that change is possible. It shows you that you are not powerless against your old patterns. Once you experience the difference, even in such a short time, you realize that you can keep going. 3 days becomes a week becomes a month, and before you know it, you've created a new way of living. Short-term commitment becomes the doorway to long-term transformation. This principle mirrors how habits are built. Research shows that habits begin with small, consistent actions repeated over time. The brain loves repetition. It wires itself to make repeated behaviors automatic. When you engage in positive self-talk consistently for just 3 days, you give your brain the first taste of a new habit. You show it a better path. From there, it becomes easier to continue because the results are visible and the practice feels rewarding. Another powerful aspect of the 3-day challenge is that it builds momentum. Momentum is everything in personal growth. Most people fail to change because they never start, or they start too big and give up quickly. But 3 days is manageable. It's a small win that fuels your confidence. You begin to tell yourself, if I can do this for 3 days, maybe I can do it for 7. If I can do it for 7, maybe I can keep going. Each small victory compounds into greater progress. It's also important to recognize that the 3-day challenge is not about perfection. You may slip into negativity during those days. That's natural. What matters is that you notice it, stop it, and replace it. Even one replacement is progress. By the end of 3 days, you'll realize that you don't have to be a prisoner to your thoughts. You have the power to direct them. That realization alone is life-changing. In the end, the 3-day challenge is a simple yet powerful invitation. It asks you to commit to yourself for just 3 days, to speak words of strength instead of weakness, and to believe in possibility instead of limitation. And once you see what's possible in 3 days, you'll understand that your future can be completely transformed, not by waiting for years, but by starting right now with the words you speak to yourself today. One of the greatest shifts you can make in life is learning to become your own supporter. Too often we wait for validation from others, family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers, to feel worthy and confident. We seek approval, applause, or encouragement, hoping it will fill the gaps in our self-esteem. But the truth is, external validation is fleeting. It comes and goes, and relying on it leaves you vulnerable to disappointment and insecurity. Real strength, real peace comes when you learn to support yourself, to stand by your own side no matter what. Becoming your own supporter doesn't mean you reject encouragement from others. It means you no longer depend on it. You build an inner voice so strong, so nurturing, that even when the world is silent or worse, critical, you still feel grounded and capable. Imagine having a best friend who never leaves your side, who always speaks to you with kindness and belief. That friend can be you if you choose to cultivate supportive self-talk. Most people are harsh critics of themselves. They replay their mistakes, magnify their flaws, and dismiss their achievements. The voice in their head sounds more like an enemy than a friend. But here's the reality: you are the one person you will spend every second of your life with. If you can't count on yourself for love and encouragement, then no one else's words will ever be enough. Becoming your own supporter means transforming that inner critic into an inner coach, one who reminds you of your strength, motivates you when you're tired, and comforts you when you fall. Self-support begins with awareness. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself when you're struggling. Do you tear yourself down with words like, "I'm such a failure"? Or do you lift yourself up with words like, "This is tough, but I'm learning and I'll get through it"? The difference may seem small, but it changes everything. Self-criticism creates shame and paralysis. Self-support creates courage and resilience. It gives you the strength to keep moving even when circumstances are hard. When you become your own supporter, you also discover inner peace. Instead of constantly battling with yourself, you create harmony within. You no longer waste energy doubting your worth or replaying every mistake. Instead, you accept yourself, flaws, failures, and all, as a work in progress. This acceptance brings peace because it frees you from the exhausting cycle of self-judgment. You can still strive for improvement, but you do so from a place of love rather than shame. Practical steps can help you build this supportive relationship with yourself. One powerful method is practicing self-encouragement in moments of difficulty. When you face a challenge, pause and ask yourself, "What would I say to a friend in this situation?" Then, say those same words to yourself. Often, we are much kinder to others than we are to ourselves. Redirecting that kindness inward changes everything. Another step is celebrating your small wins. Too often, people dismiss their progress because it doesn't seem big enough. But becoming your own supporter means acknowledging every step forward, no matter how small. Remind yourself, "I showed up today. I tried. I made progress." Over time, these small acknowledgments build confidence and self-trust. Ultimately, becoming your own supporter allows you to stand firm in any storm. People may doubt you, criticize you, or even walk away from you, but your inner voice remains steady, reminding you that you are capable, worthy, and strong. This doesn't just build resilience. It builds unshakable peace, because no matter what happens externally, you know that internally you are on your own side. When you fully embrace this mindset, life changes. Challenges no longer break you, because you are supported from within. Success feels more fulfilling because you can genuinely appreciate your own growth. and peace becomes your natural state because you no longer live in constant conflict with yourself. So remember this, the most important relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself. When you become your own supporter, you unlock the strength to rise above challenges and the peace to rest in who you are. That is the true power of self-talk, and it is available to you every single day.